Welcome to the Keep Learning tutorial, part of this project Shapeshift set of workshops. But let's just talk about what Keep Learning means for a moment.
I think for me, Keep Learning is about experimenting with various things, but specifically for these videos, visual art, because I think sometimes the outcome is very important. You want to make something that's quality, but however, I think the process of it is also really vital, and you can learn things by maybe not liking certain aspects or potentially making what people might consider mistakes. So I think it's just always been open to the fact that every experience has merits to it.
Absolutely, and keep learning to me means that it's just a journey that never ends. So we're always learning, aren't we? For as long as we live, about things, people, ourselves. There's always something to learn every day.
Yeah, I think it's about asking questions all the time and enjoying things as well. Yeah, really taking time to take pleasure out of that.
Welcome to this mini yoga session on the theme of keep learning. The great thing about learning about yourself and your body, it never stops. There's always something new to learn and discover. So what we'll be doing today is learning a little bit about our breathing and then exploring some movement, learning new ways that we can move. So if we bring our hands to our knees or your belly, you can choose. You could be sitting on the floor, you could be sitting on a chair. And I'll show you some of these movements sat on the chair as well in a bit. We're going to put our hands wherever they're comfortable and start breathing. Inhaling into your belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, belly, ribs, chest. In, 1, 2, 3. Out, 1, 2, 3. When we're breathing, we're thinking about our lungs and filling with air, and our bodies and ribcage moving. But actually, the air is going into your lungs, so it can be transformed through your lungs into energy, oxygen that goes out through your lungs, in through the tissues, into your blood, around your body, and then giving that energy, that life, oxygen to your cells. Every little tiny microscopic cell that makes up your body is receiving oxygen from the way you breathe. So without a really detailed explanation of that, because you can always look it up, how breathing actually works, and some of you might know anyway, we're going to breathe and send that air to our cells. So as you breathe, see if you can get a little sense of your whole body breathing and maybe a little bit of a tingling. So if you focus on somewhere like your fingertips, maybe you can feel them tingling when you breathe as you send that new air, that new life to them, or another part of your body. And try and expand that sense of breathing to not just your middle and your chest, but to your whole body. Almost breathing in from your cells, all those little tiny, tiny microscopic parts of you. And you can do that for as long as you like and see what you notice. We'll explore a bit of movement now. So we're going to do this on all fours, or I'll show you a chair version. Coming to all fours. So make sure your knees are okay to be on the floor. If they're not, you could put cushions under them or something like that. Here, we're going to inhale, arch the spine. Exhale, chest peels forward and through, look up. Inhale. What I'm going to try and show you is how your spine can move in different ways. Inhale up and learn about our own movement. So if you're sitting on a chair for this, what you could do is this. And then mimic the parts of the movements I'm going to show you in a way that's accessible to you. So if you're on all fours, what we're going to do now is circle out the hips. So if you're sat in a chair, just take this up to your upper body, and you can circle with your upper body instead, moving the hips and the other way. And then see what it's like to take that whole movement up your back. So you maybe start exploring the space a little bit, see what ways you can move in. And the other way. And then back to seated. And our spine, so we think of like our spines as moving one way or the other, but actually it can kind of move in all kind of directions, which is a nice thing to start learning about. So if you put your hand on your heart or on your knees, it's up to you. We're going to make little circles with the chest, leading with the heart, with the chest. So you let your head and your neck relax. So you can start to make those little circles. And if you see from the side, when I'm coming forward, I'm pressing my chest forward a little bit. Back is like this, and then making a circle in between them. So however much or little of this movement you can make, it might be tiny. You might even be just imagining making this movement. Going one way. And the other way. And finishing there. And we're going to end with another yoga hand position to help with concentration and focus and peace, all of which help us learn better. So what we're going to do is rest our right hand over our left hand, bring the thumbs together. So what we're going to do is rest our right hand over our left hand and then pop the thumbs together. And you can have the rest of the hands wherever they're comfortable.
So keep learning is the theme for this art activity, and you're going to need something to make shadows with. So I've got this little wooden house, this flat one you've made of wood, and I've got this wind chime that my daughter made. You're also going to need a lamp, or possibly the torch from your phone. You're also going to need some paper, masking tape, and something to draw with, whatever you want to use. So it's quite a dull day here, so I'm not using a bright torch. I'm using a lamp, and I don't need to even shut the curtains because it's such a grey day. However, if you're doing this at home and it's quite a bright day, you might want to shut the curtains, shut the blinds, just to create some nice contrast between the shadows and the light. So what I'm going to do is use these shadows as a guide for my drawing, and I don't know how it's going to turn out, to be honest. It's quite abstract. So I've taped my piece of paper to the wall using masking tape, and I'm going to just use the outlines as a guide to follow. Now this is a very unusual angle to be drawing from, so I don't have much control. However, I quite like that. I like that it's bobbing about and I don't have to feel obliged to make a perfect representation, but you can take as long as you like. You can move the light, see what shapes you get. You can move your objects, you can move your pieces of paper, you can move your own body. You might want to sit down, be more comfortable, change the angle of your light. So there's loads of ways you can create these shadow images. I could even use my own hands, so I'm going to use my left hand, hold it up here for a little bit, and I'm going to draw around the shadows. Oh, it's moving loads. I like the freedom of it. I like the experimentation. I like that you're not going to know how it's going to turn out. I'm just chasing my hand around the paper. So you can make something quite abstract or quite realistic looking. You can create a collage out of this. This is just the start. So I might neaten these lines up. I might take this house off the hook and then draw around it on the piece of paper as well to create some different shapes. I like a bit of overlapping, so I'm gonna do that. So I've got some precise lines as well as some wobbly lines. Oh no, I've drawn on my house. Hopefully that will come off. So the main thing is to be experimental and fun, and to enjoy the process as well as the outcome. And maybe you keep building up on your drawing, you can create lots of layers and shapes and textures and things that never would have happened depending on what the light was like on that day. So I think at the moment it's very loose, and I'd like to make it a bit tighter and a bit neater at some point. So you guys can experiment however you want with your artwork. Have fun with shadows.